Hello and welcome to Checkpoint on Campus. Jacob Rose is here, and joining me is Jack Bridges, and we have a very special guest. We are talking to Adam Forbes, a player for the Rebel Gaming Black Valorant team. Adam, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you very much for letting me on, guys.
Yeah, so we're here to talk about some good old Valorant changes. Just the best game getting better, maybe. Jack, so just from the top, what? Because I know this is a big patch. So, ultimately, what changed?
Yeah, so this is for Valorant Episode 4 Act 2, which was the recent season that just dropped a couple weeks ago. There were some major changes to 5 agents, which are Viper, Astra, Omen, Yoru, and Brimstone. In addition to some minor changes on Icebox got B-site changed and a few other things, but we're going to be going over the agents. So just as a quick rundown, Viper and Astra both got nerfed. Yoru and Brimstone both got buffed, and Omen kind of got some give and take and stayed in the middle. So more specifically, Viper's Toxic Screen and Poison Cloud got a cooldown increase, and when they are both active, the fuel drain is now increased by 50%, so it can't last as long. Astra's Max Stars got reduced from 5 to 4, and everything got a longer cooldown time. Omen's Dark Cover is faster, but now more expensive, and his Shrouded Step is now cheaper with a shorter delay time, so some give and take there, not much change. Yoru had some major reworking though. His fake out is now a full body decoy that flashes enemies upon taking damage, so instead of just being audio, it's a lot more useful for taking sights. His gate crash has increased from 1 to 2, and it can now be fake, so his teleport can be a little bit more creative now. And his ultimate dimensional drift got an increased duration time, and he can now cast utility from his ult. Brimstone also got some changes too. His Sky Smoke is now bigger and faster, so it got a larger radius and a faster deploy time. And his Stim Beacon now applies a 15% speed boost to the players affected by it. Those are the major changes from this update.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, back in the day, I was a Brimstone main when the game first came out, and that sounds kind of sweet. So, Adam, I'll ask you if you like it later, but first, just across the board, how did all these changes impact the game? What were the major changes that happened?
Well, now Astra isn't picked almost every map, so there's a lot more smoke diversity. That was kind of the point of this patch, was getting some more smokers in there. So Brimstone and Omen have been able to flood the scene a little more on maps like Haven and Ascent, and especially with Viper now, she's not as oppressive when it comes to using her utility. She has a lot less uptime on her smokes. That means you can punish her after she busts her load with any of her Viper spit or her smoke, and then she's pretty much useless after the fact.
Sweet. So, are these good changes? Are these bad changes?
Some people, my opinion, I think it's a good change.
You think it's a good change? Okay.
Some people definitely think it's not a good change because you move towards more of a rush type of meta with this, especially with that move speed buff that Jack had mentioned at the end of it. Really oppressive sometimes if you got 5 people running at you at 15% increased speed, just Ferrari peeking around corners and taking your head off. So that's why people are discontent with this patch, but I think overall it's going in a better direction. Now you're actually able to have more diversity on the smoke agent, which is what I am playing. So I feel like I can actually do something more useful than playing an RTS in the back of the map the whole time.
So you think people are discontent with this patch?
I mean, especially some high-level players, they feel like there's less strategic elements to the game, and it's more just about who can run faster and click ahead.
So no longer Astra go burr. I see.
Yeah. Now it's the big old man go burr, you know?
Hey, I ain't hating. Jack, for someone who plays at not as high of a level, do you think they're good changes to the game?
Yeah, I actually got some time to play today, and I play Viper on one map, and man, it caught me off guard when the cooldown time increase really caught me off guard because I'm so used to just being able to throw it up and throw it down whenever I want. So I had to get used to the timing. So I mean, but other than that, the changes, I like the changes. I feel like changes to agents, they're not successful if there's not some controversy, you know? People got to be a little upset about the changes for them to be moving in the right direction, because if not, then it's just going to be the same agents picked over and over again. So they got to do some tinkering to obviously work things out. But I think if people are upset about it, it's honestly a step in the right direction for getting more diversity in the competitive field.
Yeah, I think so too, Adam. Because the fact you said people don't like it, I find interesting. So, I mean, do you think that at the higher level people would prefer kind of the slow RTS where I stand still for a minute and click ahead and then move in, or do you think it's better for the game that people can just kind of roll on to a point?
Well, in a ranked match, I think a lot more people just like running in and just doing whatever they want. The top 2,000 people, everyone just wants to do a crazy flick shot with Jet. It's always a race to insta-pick no matter what rank you're in. But when it gets to like those high level teams like Cloud9, Guard, 100 Thieves, maybe not as much, but they definitely would appreciate a more tactical-esque game where you're able to really delve into like what the other team is doing and pick them apart more than it is, let's see who can click better.
Glue your feet to the ground and see if you can blind someone. Of course. So speaking of smokes, so I know one thing with Brimstone. I just the one character I actually know because I know his smokes now deploy a lot quicker, and so I know that means that he can deploy those smokes on those peaks way earlier. Has that like significantly impacted the game? Because I feel like that would cut off a lot of sight points a lot quicker that would usually be available in the beginning of a round.
So you're definitely not telling as much when you are hitting a site. You can kind of instantly pop them and go in, especially on like the early maps. I mean, the map that he's picked a lot is Bind and Ascent. So Ascent in mid, when you're looking from Cat to Tiles, Cat is able to get smoked or Tiles is able to get smoked instantly, which cuts off an Opper's angle. So if you want to take mid control, it's a lot better for the other team if they're using Brim proactively. But the issue if you use Brim over Omen, which is why people are still using Omen more than him, is that you don't have that recharging smoke. So once you use that smoke, you're kind of screwed if you don't take any advantage off of it.
Okay, very cool. And so then, given that your opinion is different, I'm really looking forward to this question. So would you say that this is the best state of Valorant? And if not, what does it need to become the best state of Valorant?
Wow. Okay, you just dropped that bomb on me.
Besides the toxicity of having people not be able to talk in casual.
Of course, besides everyone else, but the changes
itself.
in general, yes. Oh man, I would think that there is still a lot of work to be made with balancing people like Yoru, Silva, and Jet. Like these three come to mind. Even though Yoru got this huge change, he's still dog water. He's nowhere near good as Jet. Jet is able to take any peek she wants and get the hell out of the way. The same thing with Silva. He's almost an instant pick on every map because you wall hack with his dart, and his shocks can kill someone who's planting. His ult is amazing, and his drone is almost necessary to scale any site. So I think there needs to be either an addition to the roster where there's people who are getting info without having to take damage, or you need to cut back on what people are able to do because there's still almost like a 90% pick rate for Jet and Silva.
So really just information control across the board. Okay, awesome. Jack, I'm going to ask you the same exact question, that really hard-hitting question. What does Valorant need to be the best that it's been?
I think it just needs more time, obviously, just to work stuff out. Like, to be able to introduce more agents and stuff, just to give more variety. Like he said, like there's no one really like Sova in the game, so they just need more time to be able to implement more changes and work out these things. So like look at what like the changes to Yoru, see what they did, see what was working, and then buff some stuff to make him more useful and more unique. Like I feel like once they can find out how to make each character unique in their own way, then you'll be good. Because like Phoenix, for example, is kind of just a bad version of Sky, so it's just kind of unfortunate in that situation. So I mean, for right now, I think it's. I mean, I've been enjoying myself, so I guess I'll come on and say that it is the best it's been in a while at least.
Okay.
Just because I feel like it's different. I feel like I'm playing against different people now, especially in the lower elo where it doesn't matter. Like people just want to try out new stuff. So like Yoru and Brimstone get picked a lot in my lobbies now. So it's a lot of fun to see these changes. But man, yeah, it is annoying to peek Brimstone in that cubby on Ascent. That's the first thing I noticed, man. Like because I always that's my go-to move on attack. And now I get smoked off in 2 seconds. It's so obnoxious, but I've been enjoying myself. So I'll say it's one of the better states Valorant has been in. I don't know about the best, but one of the better states it's been in.
Okay, sweet. Well, hopefully it'll get even better, and time will only tell. But Adam, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you coming on. We don't get enough talking to pros about if their game is good or not, and I love asking people that kind of a question. But Adam, thank you so much once again for coming on. This was absolutely awesome.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. You guys have a great one.